series. Aislin's going to be on my hips, like she's passing guard. We're gonna be teed up, like so. So from here, we're gonna look at just, we'll go hand on the mat. So she just has a wedge, and we're in this scenario where we have Kimura, but they have our waist. So in this scenario, I'm gonna give you a very simple option, but a highly effective one. Notice how I picked Aislinn as my UK for this one, because I have a nice strength advantage over her. This is gonna be one that's gonna help if you're a little stronger than your partner. So from here, I'm gonna use the exact same mechanics I would use if I were in a top position, where Aislinn's got a strong arm. I'm gonna push on my palm, and I'm gonna get elbow deep, and then I'm gonna lock in my false grip. From there, I'm gonna use the mat here to pull, and then I'm gonna push. The second this comes away from her body, I'm gonna look at to put it behind her back. It's very likely from this scenario, as we place her wrist behind her elbow, she's gonna do a rolling motion, and we're gonna go through. From there, I'm gonna set my elbow over. I'm gonna place my leg in a diagonal line from foot to hip, and then I'm just gonna place her wrist behind her elbow, and I'm gonna drive. There should be minimal distance covered on her head when she comes up. I want a very strong bite where I'm going forward, my head's coming up, and I'm just pushing this wrist behind. Alternatively, you can do the same motion with a single arm where you drive through, just grabbing the meat of the hands where the tape is, coming through, looking to place this on, feeding it, diagonal line from the foot to the hip, kind of leaning back here, making sure your partner doesn't come up to their side when you're doing this technique. So, not this one. What do you mean side control? Let's start off side control here. You come in, they have a wedge underneath the mat. I'm gonna go palm to palm here, and I'm gonna break this. From here, they still have this grip. I look to go low. I readjust, I get elbow deep. My partner doesn't have a loose arm, they have a strong arm. I need to make sure I maximize my elbow, getting it deep. I don't want to just try to do this technique from here. I use my palm, I push in, I get this deep. From there, I use my feet on the mat to pull, and my elbows to pull, really using the force off the mat. The second I can get the wrist behind the back, I have the ability to break. If my partner were to not roll here, I would just get the tap. However, my partner's good, they're gonna look to roll, and then from there, I step my leg over, my left elbow stays on the mat, and from this diagonal line, from the foot to the hip, I look to lean back and get the break. Once you get this one with the elbow on the mat, you can switch it off, you can go to a single hand grip and get the finish. So, a very simple technique when we can't get a roll through, when they're staying on our hip, pulling the arm away from the body, placing it behind the back, they roll, you look to finish on a top Kimura with a pin. All right, let's get to it.
Don't get this one. It's nothing personal if I don't text you back. I just don't feel like it.
You specifically.
So we're gonna do the same point. You're gonna be here, and you're going to have a knee grip. So Aislinn's gonna look to run my legs and misalign my spine. So, little overview. As Aislinn gets her grips, I'm getting a thumb post. She's gonna have ideally her knee off the mat. Initially, when she's coming around, as she looks to run my hips, I'm just throwing this in and I'm feeding it. So here, 1, 2. As soon as I get my grip, it's fairly likely, we have a couple different options, right? She could possibly stay on this, where I'd be attempting to roll her through off of it, but we'll look at the reaction of her just posturing her weight placement back to her leg. When that happens, I'm gonna hit a rolling motion from our Kimura, and then from there, we can cover like so. We're gonna review just coming through on a wrist ride, placing this behind the back. Keep your arm, you can down here. Place this behind the back, and then bringing our knee over keep it strong, to break down your partner, like so. From here, we're going to look at a reversal from this position where we have the Kimura. So, a little review on that. Once we end up in this position, we're blocking with a thumb. Aislinn starts to hit that angle. As soon as I get teed up, she's going to posture it back. 1, 2. Coming behind, get to the wrist. Circle, circle, circle. She keeps it strong. 1, 2. I get Kimura. I rip her to the mat. From here, follow me. This thing right here. I'm going to look to push on the hip, like so, when my partner has Kimura. I'm going to place my knuckles to the other side of the hip. And then from here, I'm going to take my legs off the mat, turn myself, and throw myself into an armbar for an immediate counter. So, quick little reversal off of that Kimura. More time after a partner hit that. I'm creating distance. A lot of times my head's trapped. I need to find my way out to get teed up. I place my knuckles to the other side of the hip, and then I turn it over just like I'm doing an RDL or spiral guard hook. I throw up, I back heel. It's very likely Aislinn's posturing up. I'm going to have to do a fairly quick tap. Get an extension. All right, guys, let's play with it. We have in, we have pressure. So from here, as Aislinn brings in her frame, she's going to look to go palm to palm, and she's going to look to get space to separate that grip. So that little sound right there, that's all it is. So we have two options here on directions I can go with my elbow. I could go up or I could go down. Those are going to be the two. If I go up, I'm likely going to look to pummel in and take this inside space. Sometimes I'll go down, and then I'll look to come through and look to take underhooks. So there's two directions of movement. The elbow is followed by this frame. So that's the motion. So we're going to look at a downward motion from that side control. So initially, we're here, we're in. I'm sliding this in. My partner has a grip. I go palm to palm. So again, Aislinn has a cross-face grip. She has pressure. Boom, I slide this in. You can do a little pressure. So here I pull, I slide. She's driving, I break. So the second I get this in play, when she goes low, I'm gonna keep this connected, and I'm gonna do a pummel motion where I come in like so. So I'm going from here to here, getting my Kimura. From here, we have a couple different options. We're gonna look at my partner coming, instead of coming to the side here, where we pull and we grip behind, they're gonna come to our waist, where they have kind of a shallow grip, like so. From here, all I'm gonna look to do is I'm gonna block on the hip, and I'm gonna throw my leg over. We're in an arm saddle position. Aislinn immediately looks to lock her hands. From here, what I'm gonna look to do is I'm gonna lace my foot in between her grip. From there, she's gonna keep a strong grip, like so. She's gonna keep a strong grip, like so. I'm gonna use my foot that's on the mat, and as I feel like I can't place her arm behind the mat, I'm gonna do a motion where I invert my toe. I come in and I shoot a triangle. I can go ankle triangle behind the head, or I can go locked ankles. From there, I still have to deal with getting the grip break. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go armpit, shoulder. I'm gonna break, and then I'm just gonna go on an Americana variation. You can go from locked ankles or ankle triangle. They both work well. They both do a good job of wedging the head downwards and getting the break. So it's gonna be up to you. If you're a little bit stockier, I recommend going locked ankles. If you're a little bit longer, I recommend staggering that triangle. One more time. We're in. We hit this initial pummel and we're just blocking. I'm coming in. If I can do this, this is great. Occasionally, when I'm working, I gotta fight. Here, you go now. So, my partner's down. I have a CrossFit. She's gonna go piece of paper, and she's gonna slide. From there, she goes palm to palm. She looks to extend with her grip, and she gets a nice little break. From there, she finds this. As I go high, she's gonna make sure her hand is reinforced on my tricep, and she's gonna keep her elbow down. So as I go high then low, she immediately uses this to pummel and take Kimura. From here, I'm gonna put my hand right on her waist. From there, she's gonna bring this leg over, and she's gonna get to an arm saddle like so, bringing it to the hip. Immediately, I look to lock my grip. She's gonna lace her foot in between my grip. Now she's gonna look to pivot with her pinky toe, and she's gonna shoot up a triangle, ankle triangle just behind the head. She's gonna look to go on her grip break and place my arm in and get to a finish. Sweet.